I'm back with another video, and this time I'm going to talk about FastPass Plus. Now, I think I've mentioned probably a nauseating number of times I'm going to Disney World in the middle of November, and that means that I just would have booked my FastPasses last week, because you can book your FastPass Plus reservations 60 days in advance of the day that you arrive at your resort. And now that is if you're staying at a Walt Disney World resort. So I thought it made sense for me to talk about FastPasses and FastPass Plus while I'm actually going through that process, because then it's more fresh in my mind, and then I can show you things on the computer as I'm doing them, because you can't really go in and see to book reservations until you are at that 60-day mark. So I have my list of things here that I want to mention. So if I'm looking down, that's why. I think I forgot to mention, I think this time I'm going to do actually a series of videos so that this isn't one massively long, like hour-long video. So the video today is going to be about how I prepped and planned for booking my FastPasses. So first, a quick little background. What is FastPass Plus? This is Disney's new FastPass system. The old system has been phased out, so you can no longer go to one of the FastPass machines inside the park, put your park ticket in, and get a paper FastPass ticket. That is not available anymore. Now it's only the FastPass Plus, which you can, like I said, reserve ahead of time. And there are also kiosks in the parks for you to make reservations there for rides as well. But now it's all loaded on your Magic Band that you'll have, so you don't have a paper ticket anymore. So reserving your FastPasses, you can reserve 3 FastPasses per day in one park ahead of time. So if you're booking your FastPasses in the Magic Kingdom, you book 3 FastPasses in the Magic Kingdom. Once you've used your 3rd FastPass, or your window expires, even if you didn't use it, but you didn't get to it in time because it expired, you can then go to one of the kiosks they have in each park, and you can book a 4th. And when you do that, you go to the in-park kiosk, you can only book for a ride that is in that same park where the kiosk is located. So again, if you're in the Magic Kingdom and you go to the Magic Kingdom kiosk, you will only have the option of booking a 4th FastPass within the Magic Kingdom. If you want to make a FastPass reservation for a ride in Epcot, you'd have to go to Epcot to use their kiosk. There is also an app that you can get, and I've not used their app, so disclaimer, I've not used their app, but I know there is an app, and you can use that as well to make changes and things like that to your FastPasses. Okay, so where to begin? My first step was to figure out my park plan, and I typically do this for all trips anyway because of the way that we make lunch reservations. So what we do is, if there is a park that has morning extra magic hours, so instead of opening at 9 to the general public, the morning extra magic hours park will open at 8 to resort guests only. And then at 9, they start letting the general public people in. So if there's morning extra magic hours, we always go to that park first, because we find it to be worth it. The lines are a lot shorter, and it doesn't really get crowded until a little bit later in the day. Then we'll have lunch at that park where we have morning extra magic hours. Then we'll go back, in the afternoons, we'll go back to the hotel for a rest and a swim. And then in the evening, we go to a different park. Now, we do not visit the evening extra magic hours park, if there is one, because what we've found is that the beginning part of the evening, it's typically very crowded. I think it's because a lot of people don't get a park hopper pass, and obviously with our park plan, would need a park hopper pass. But it's typically very crowded in the beginning. Then as people start leaving for the evening, it starts getting slower and slower. So I'm told that the last hour or 2 of extra magic hours is great, and for the evening park, and people have said, they can basically just walk right on rides. Now, I'm kind of an early bird, so I don't really like to stay in the parks until 1 a.m. I don't have the stamina to do that, especially since I do plan on getting up early the next morning, if possible, to go to the morning extra magic hours park. Okay, so In the morning, if possible, we go to the park with morning extra magic hours. Then in the evening, we go to a non-extra magic hours park. So then we want to figure out where to use our fast passes. So if I'm going to that morning extra magic hours park, I personally don't think it's worth it to make your FastPass Plus reservations there. I don't think it is necessary because it's not very crowded in my experience. I've gone during some busier times. I've gone in this summer several times, and if you get there right at park opening, you can do at 8 a.m., you can do a lot before it gets crowded. So I chose to not make my FastPass Plus reservations for the morning extra magic hours park. What I did in this case was I booked my fast passes for our evening non-extra magic hour park. Now, the only disclaimer there is it would be difficult in this case to use more than 3 fast passes. But I thought about it, and I don't think it's really necessary. With the old system, we really would not be able to make, we wouldn't be able to get fast passes for anything in the evening, the park we visit in the evening, because at that point they're all gone, or they're really late. What's left is for really late in the day, or it's for rides that either we wouldn't want to ride, or usually that it's not necessary to use a fast pass for. So if it's an AM extra magic hours park, in my opinion, not worth it to book your fast pass reservations. If it's a day where AM extra magic hours are not offered, I did book my FastPass Plus reservations for that park because at that time at 9 a.m., resort guests are being let into the park the same time that general public is being let into the park. So I thought it would be worth it in that case to book my fast passes for the morning park. And in that case, you would then be able to book a 4th or 5th or 6th fast pass in the evening park. They do leave fast passes for people who, if they're staying off property, but they purchase tickets ahead of time, you can book fast pass reservations 30 days in advance. And if you don't want to book ahead of time, you can go to an in-park kiosk and book the same day. So they will have fast passes available. So if I'm going on today and it's saying they're all full, it's because they're full for my 60-day ahead of time fast passes. They do save some for other people for later and closer to their trip. So I think a lot of people got initially upset about this and saying, hey, if I'm staying off property, I don't have a chance in getting a fast pass. Well, that's not the case. They do save rides and fast passes for those people as well. Okay, so lastly in my FastPass planning is what to reserve. I do have another video on this giving my opinions on the top rides I would pick in each park. And I think this isn't really necessary if you've been to Disney before because you kind of know what is going to be more popular. If you've never been before, definitely watch that because you have no idea what rides are going to be popular and what's not. A little, I guess, tip or disclaimer would be, I'm sure I mentioned this in the other video, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. If there is a new ride at Disney that recently opened, that will be the busiest. So try to get your fast pass for that, and that is going to be booked or sold out. I mean, you don't pay for your fast passes, but those will be all reserved ahead of time. And the other thing is the meet and greet with Anna and Elsa from Frozen in the Magic Kingdom. That is going to be extremely popular as well. During their really busy time of the year and the busy time of the day in those busy times of the year, there have been reports of people waiting in line for like 4 to 5 hours to meet Anna and Elsa, which I cannot imagine. But if it is important to you, definitely try to get a fast pass for that so that you don't spend an entire day of your trip waiting in line for, a 1 or 2 minute visit with the princesses. So the other thing I wanted to mention is you want to book your fast passes for the more popular rides, like I just said, as well as shows or parades that you really want to see. I've not personally used a fast pass on a show or parade at Disney World. I did at Disneyland. And in that case, there's a big area reserved. And I think it's actually the same at Disney World as well. There's a big area reserved for the fast pass people. But then within that area, it's still first come, first serve for seating. So you could still get behind some people if you don't come until the very end of your fast pass window. But you know that you'll still have, you will have a seat for sure. And something else you want to do ahead of time is make a list of your top 4 to 5 rides and or experiences for each day that you're going to make your fast passes, because you don't know until you get into the My Disney Experience fast pass booking area online exactly what is going to be available and what times. So make a list of those. And I will show you the list and calendar that I made ahead of time, and so just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is my FastPass schedule, and what I did beforehand is I wrote down, you can see the days of the week, AM Park, AM FastPass, PM Park, and PM FastPass. There's a couple of days, like here we're running in the Wine and Dine Half Marathon, so we're not going to be visiting a park that night. And here we're visiting, we're going to be attending Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, so you don't book FastPass, you can't book FastPasses for a hard ticket event. So we won't have, we're not technically visiting parks, I guess, on these 2 days. So you can see I wrote down if it is morning extra magic hours, and if there's nothing there, then it's not morning extra magic hours. I have late morning here just for me, so that I know that we're not going to be getting to the park right when it opens, because that's unusual for us, just because of the race the night before. So you can see what I did was here, for example, for Hollywood Studios, the morning extra magic hours, and then I wrote down my rides I wanted to get a fast pass for. And then once I was able to actually get the fast passes, I wrote down the times that I was able to get them for, right on the same, in the same square. So this is an example of the morning extra magic hours, and then here is a park, an example of a park that we're visiting at night where we're booking fast passes. So like I mentioned, we don't, if we're attending morning extra magic hours, we don't book fast passes for that park. We book them for the PM park. So I did the same thing. I wrote down the list of rides I wanted to try and get fast passes for, and then once I was able to do that, I wrote down the times that, these are the return times. So for like shows, they're a little bit different. Usually for the rides, they're like an hour. So here you can see they're from 6 to 7. But the Little Mermaid is a show, so this just means you have to arrive between 5:20 and 5:35, because it's not continual load like a ride is. So hopefully this will give you a little bit of an idea as to how I set up my FastPass schedule. Okay, so that is a whole list of my tips that I have for how to prep for booking your fast passes. And like I said, this will be the first video in a series, because this one is already plenty long. And then I think in my next one, I will actually take you into the computer and show you how you physically go in the computer to start booking your fast passes. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.